Spider-Man No Way Home. Did this movie have flaws? Yes. Did this movie have fan service? Yes, quite a bit. But was it a good movie? Most definitely yes. It may even be the greatest Spider-Man movie of all time. And I know, that might be an overstatement. I know there are hardcore Toby fans out there, but we simply just gotta give credit where credit's due. Now, spoiler warning, they didn't have to put Toby in this movie. They didn't have to put Andrew in this movie. But not only did they do both, but also gave each one respectable amount of screen time, which is my biggest surprise. Like, I simply thought they'd just be showing up at the end where, Tom Spider-Man needed them the most. And then right at the end, they'll come in, as Tom was getting brutally overwhelmed by Sinister Six or whatever, they come in, save the day. And it's like a big surprise. It's a build-up to another Spider-Man movie. Part 2, probably. Something like Harry Potter or Infinity War. But no, they closed up everything in this one movie. Now, when I mean closed, obviously there's going to be sequels to this. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? But they closed it in a way where we can simply just say, this was it. And that was it. Because towards the end, Doctor Strange, he did the spell, and they all forget, and they all went back to their worlds, their own dimensions. I was really hoping we would see more Toby, more Andrew in this storyline. But the way it seems, they'll probably go back to their own stories, and hopefully, really hopefully, there'll be more sequels, especially to the Amazing Spider-Man. Now, I see on Twitter there's a lot of hashtag Make the Amazing Spider-Man 3, which I am all on board for. Andrew Garfield was amazing in this movie. Every screen presence he had, he captured it strongly. When he first showed up, when Ned was opening the portal, holy shit! That cinema audience was all applauding, they're all gasping. I haven't had that reaction. Now, you always watch videos of Endgame reactions and that. I didn't have that when I went, oddly enough. But for this one, I did. And that was just amazing. The applause, everything, cinema experience. That was the chef's kiss about this. The audience reaction, everything. It was amazing. And yeah. So, with that said, they gave each Spider-Man more story and even a redemption arc, which brings me to my favourite scene of the whole movie, which was when Mary Jane was about to fall to her death. Green Goblin swoops in, just about Tom was going to save her, so she was going to die. Then the camera pans to Andrew, and at that moment, everyone in the cinema knew what was going to happen. This was Andrew Garfield's redemption arc for what happened to Gwen in Spider-Man 2. And that scene teared me up. I mean, there's a lot of emotion in this whole movie. From Aunt May dying, from then on, there was so much emotional stuff. There's a lot of emotional dialogue, especially in the ending when the memories were all wiped and Tom went to the cafe to see MJ, and how that whole scene was just intense wholesomeness. But it was really good, and I really enjoyed that. But the one scene that stood out for me, that made me tear up, was the Andrew moment. When he saved Mary Jane, and she asked if he was okay. And he just had this, he had a flashback in his mind. Like he was sad. That face, man, that breaks my heart every single time. And I went home, after that, went on Twitter, went on YouTube, watched all fan reactions and everything, and every single time that scene popped up, I get teary. I do not know why. Maybe that scene in the Amazing Spider-Man 2 was just so impactful because, who really saw that coming? Who really thought they would kill Gwen in a Spider-Man movie? Oh yeah, we could say that, hardcore fans, that Gwen actually did die in the comics, But for a movie, to kill off Gwen, Emma Stone was an amazing actress in it. And they had so much chemistry between each other. To kill her off, that was a really, really bold move. You can kill off Uncle Ben, you can kill off Aunt May. But killing Gwen, or just like the partner that they established a relationship in the movies where the chemistry was so good, that hit so hard. And, with all the time passed and everything, we felt that. We felt that it was real because Andrew shows so much emotions when he saved her, and that's, as you can see, that whole scene just took it away from me. I can go on and on because I literally just went watching so many, repeating that scene over and again, because that was it for me. That was that one scene, and that just proves to me more that we really need the Amazing Spider-Man 3. We need Andrew Garfield back in that scene, because he was always a good Spider-Man. For me, you know, when watching Amazing Spider-Man 2, everyone always says like, oh, he's too cool for that role, he's too good looking for that role. You know, it's just, in my mind, he was just an alternative dimension Spider-Man. He was always that before no universe became a thing, because we had Toby. We don't really want another version of Toby, because that will just make it so boring. Because we've seen it all in the Raimi Spider-Man. Why would you want to see it again? So you want to see a different version. That's why they do Ben Reilly Spider-Man, the Scarlet Spider. You know, he's a different version. Then there's Punk Spider-Man. There's all these different versions with different personalities. And I always just assumed the Amazing Spider-Man was just one of those variants. He was a different type of Spider-Man. He didn't have to be nerdy glasses, that type of, you know, Spider-Man. We don't really need that again. That's why Tom didn't have glasses. That's why he needed to be different, and they did it well in the Amazing Spider-Man. The part where the Amazing Spider-Man failed for me was other things like plot, character design, the Green Goblin. That was horrible. Harry Osborn, you know, just I know he has a face of a goblin. That's why they made him there. But he didn't have the face of a Harry. Like, we want him to be a good friend, a fun friend that we love too, before he turns into Green Goblin. You know, that's why James Franco sold that role so well, because we like James Franco's character in the Spider-Man and everything. Anyway, I'm going off in a rant on all the other movies. I'm a big Spider-Man fan, as you see. You know, I've watched this ever since I was a kid. Spider-Man 1 in the cinema, Spider-Man 2 in the cinema, or all of them in the cinema. The Spider-Man 3 with Venom, even when people said that was bad, I loved that. As a kid, when you grew up, when you saw Sandman, Venom, all of them on one screen, in one movie, you were like, holy shit, that was amazing. You know, you didn't really care for plot things, because you're not an adult, you haven't watched reviews, you haven't understood that was messy. You just saw a whole bunch of characters, and that was just, damn, that was so good. That was amazing. So that was my childhood. I love all three movies. I love The Amazing Spider-Man. You know, even Blue Electro, I didn't hate it. He was awesome. You know, the dubstep when he does his the powers, I know that all hyped it up for me. So I really never hated it, and I always loved Andrew Garfield. So him coming back for a third movie, I'm 100% on board. And they say that's where Tom Hardy's Venom is going to be in. He's going into Andrew Garfield's world, because they hinted in the movie that Andrew always wanted to fight an alien. So that brings those two together in their film. And that symbiote that Tom left behind is for the next villain of Spider-Man 4, for Tom Holland. And I really, really want them to make Venom evil and scary. Don't make him into a Tom Hardy, where we like him, we like his character and everything. Make him a different version. Make him scary. Make him fearful. Make him like how we felt when we saw the Lizard in The Amazing Spider-Man. He was very threatening, but not like the Lizard we see him in No Way Home, because he was just there for fun. It was just there for shit. You know, Spider-Man just webbed him for a bit, and he was out of the game for half the fight. More than half the fight, you know? So he was just there for there. But please, please make Venom scary. Make us fear him. That would be so amazing. Because they can do that again. They can make another story arc with Venom. But they just don't need to make the same storyline, having him as a likable Eddie Brock. Or whatever. Whatever. But, you know, when it comes to black suits, black Spider-Man suits, let's do it. That black suit in Spider-Man 3, whew, that was amazing. Anyway, that's my review. I know it went on for a bit, but I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, as you can see. And I would love to talk more about Spider-Man. So if you want us to review other Spider-Man movies, put them in the comments below. And then, have a good one. See ya!